Stand back, Sideswipe. It's my turn.
I'm not really tired, but if you insist.
Welcome back to the Tiberium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the DX9 D21 Red Storm, their take on a very G1-esque Sideswipe. And gotta say, this is one of the top characters I said that we need remade. I don't want every character remade. I don't think we need another Galvatron and all that kind of stuff, but it's coming. But this is one we sorely needed in the Masterpiece range. And I have to say that they did deliver. And it does look good. But is it perfect? No, nothing really is perfect. And I'm going to go through the pluses and minuses, the good, the bad, and the not so ugly, because this thing does look really nice. And we'll do some comparisons to Takara. We'll do some comparisons to Bad Cube, and of course the transformation, and see how it looks next to the vintage, where we've come from, where we are going, where we are now. But I did get this at Shozy Store. I'll link down below where you can get yours. If you put TH in support your viewer box, it does help the channel out, and I do appreciate it. But let's get into taking a look at this Red Storm. It's a great figure. Coming up. All right, here's the packaging. It's got a whole lot of stuff on it. Writing. They always have some sort of quote on there. That's the actual figure itself, which is kind of cool. Would have liked to see plastic. You have to flip it over. It's upside down on the back. Inner dream. External hobby. Strive to be yourself. Some good talk. There's a box. All right, here's right outside of the box, and it looks pretty good. It is shipped in car mode, not in robot mode, and it does come with rubber tires, and it rolls. Now, one thing that was really surprising me on the pictures when I was seeing people getting them in-hand pictures was the level of paint on this, and this has a really nice paint job to it. So I really do like the glistening paint. It does look like a Countach, and it works. There's paint apps on this plastic piece back here. There's silver on the rims, and those do look correct for the model. And I think that's just actual bare plastic in there, but all that red is just shines. And underneath it, we can see this feels like it's painted. Not 100% sure about this just yet. It feels painted. That definitely feels painted. It's like everything's painted on this, which is really nice. You can even see the glistening of the black paint, which, again, I've said this in the past, but the transformation, you could possibly scratch it, but it looks really nice. My one downside to it is I wish they would have frosted the windows. When I do comparisons, you're going to see what Takara did with theirs, and you don't see all the stuff on the inside because it's frosted better. Or actually, the one I've got is jet black, so it's we'll see all that. But yeah, good looking alt mode overall. And with that, let's get into the one thing it does. Okay, so there's a couple of little gimmicks in there. Number one, there is these right here, these lights that pop up, and you just get in there and pop it up. I feel like I'm going to scrape the paint. The other thing is, it looks to have side view mirrors that I need to put on. Side view mirrors to put on. I don't know if I'm going to mess with that. I don't know if it's worth it, because they're going to go right here, and I'm not sure if it's even going to make a difference. It's not going to really help it or hurt it, and I'll just leave it in the box. But for some people that want to leave it in alt mode, would probably want to put those mirrors on. I don't know. I'm not in for that. I'm not down for that game. All right, I'll have one side view mirror on, I guess, for comparison. That's what it looks like. I am not a fan of that. It's scary. Well, that's probably why they left it off, because it would easily break off. But I don't think it's truly that big of a necessity. But let's leave that on there, and let's do some comparisons. Now, here it is next to a G1, which this is probably my better G1. I put my lesser better one in the bot mode, because they both can look good in bot mode. I guess with the part that's missing. But no side view mirrors on that. Still, it's kind of where we came from and where we're going. And this does look good. I guess it's lacking the black detail up top there. And here's Takara. Now, I don't have a Takara Sideswipe in alt mode, but looking at how they handled the side view mirrors, which that needs to tighten up a little bit, but they handled the side view mirrors right here. That's how they're clipped in right there versus that one. Anyway, it's just Kind of an interesting thing. I don't think these lights pop up. I don't remember. I guess I could go look into that. I don't think I do. Anyway, this is how it looks compared to a Takara Tiger Tracks, which the reason I opened this one first was because I had a lot of red figures on a shelf. In my early days, I only had like 12 figures on a shelf, so I wanted color breakup, and I ended up getting almost all of these that they had. They went up to, I think, letter G on recoloring this. So you've got the black one, that's G2, and then you had this one. I think there's a gold one. I don't know. I've just got them all still in the box. I don't mess with them. I really didn't think the mold was great. I don't know why I picked them all. Picked up all these, and I knew we'd get a better one. I wonder if DX9 is going to come out with all these different color variations, or how deep they go with it. At least like a G2, and of course we're going to get Red Alert and all that. And a few more things to compare to, and if you're curious, yes, he'll fit just fine. On the Takara version of this, I don't think it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit. Yeah, it'll also fit on the Fans Toys one. Yeah, it fits on the Fans Toys. It works. Gets the job done. Alright, so what's left to do with this guy, I guess? We should transform it and all of that. Let's see here. We can disconnect these tires. And then come back here and lift up the spoiler. Disconnect all of this. And then this should help it separate. Come up here, we have to, I don't want to say break, but we have to sever this contact. Probably be easier if we pull these front pieces out first. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the front, close those up, disconnect this from this, it's a mushroom tab in there. All right, got that mushroom tab disconnected, and then we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to need to slide these pieces out. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Once you've sort of disconnected this, and then kind of pull out on this a bit to get yourself the room. And we can pull out on this. Now that should help us now kind of free up this section here, because we can have the arms, I mean the legs. The legs are going to need to kind of come out, but we need to pull this all up. And it works better if you kind of push down on that to get that section going. So kind of lifting up on this, pushing down on that, and then that is going to get us into position to start moving these legs down and out of the way. And it seems like the foot kind of wants to catch on it a little bit for me. But the first one, the second one seems to be a little easier to get the foot out. And then we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. I think I want to start with the legs first because it seems to make a lot of sense, but we can go ahead and get the legs done. At this point, we want to go ahead and rotate the waist. And then we're going to rotate the legs. And start working on all of this, and that's good right there. Then we're going to get down here into this whole leg section here. We want to kind of get this as up out of the way as we can. We're going to kind of flex it just a little bit to get that window across there. Fold the wheel in, fold this down, and just fold it past there to the rubber tire wants to rub on this piece, and then just get it all in here. Then what we want to do is unfold 3 folds here. 3 folds. Do it 3-fold. And then we are going to... Alright, looking at it from the front, you want to flip the toe around, and then we're going to be folding all this up and going into here. Which I find the ingenious part of this is the fact that this toe, it overhangs the piece that it's connected to, so that it kind of covers that. So it looks like a clean foot, but it's still kind of a gap there, which it still looks pretty good. So let's try to get this other side looking just a little bit better. And we're going to fold that out. We're going to fold this down, fold this see if we can get this out of the way just a little bit. Pull this around. Then we gotta kind of lift this piece here to get past the tire. No paint rubbing. Then we are already in the front here. We want to open up all of this, and then we want to turn the foot around, and then get that in there like that. So it's a easier way to see it than the first one. And that's starting off on a solid foundation, so we can work our way up to the remainder of this, which is right here. Now, we're going to need to fold these arms down, untab them for the arms, and there's that. And then this one, and then we'll do the arms here in just a bit. Next thing we're going to do is fold these parts here up for the side of the head, and then flip the head around and get it in place. Then we want to come to the back here and push on this box to get that box out. And the rest of it's like, hey, we want to make a chest now. We want to build that chest, but no, we can't quite do that yet. We need to fold that in, and we're going to fold it around. These come down, and then it's double jointed, kind of. And we want to get this as far up in here as we need it to come down here and just tab in down below. So there's that. I'm gonna get this head back into place, and then these guys, all right, this is gonna slide over, and the goal here is to get this tab into place, and of course the chest into place. So let's get the first one here. The chest is kind of going into place here. There's going to be a tab. It's tricky. It's a bit on the tricky side. Okay, so this is on a slider. The tab is part of the spoiler, and you have to get it tabbed in right here, and it's a little bit of kind of pushing it past it to get the tab on there. But I'm gonna kind of work on that off the screen. And this tab goes into here, and there's that one tabbed in. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. It does have the slider. This needs to go over, and again, more trying to tab this stuff in, and none of that sounds good as it's going. Pulling this forward and pushing the tabbing bit down. Again, something that's really hard for me to do on the camera. It's really hard to get this filmed and do it right. So we get that tab in off the camera. Part of my struggles is the back comes undone and it pulls the spoiler down. That was just my issue with it. Anyway, here we go with getting the last tab in, get the chest in place, and the last tab into the lower section there. Man, that came up. That's not good. Getting that in there. But anyway, that's kind of how you do it. There it goes. And the way that tab works, tighten that up, make this flush as possible. Flat right there. Then we got to finish these arms. The arms are really easy. You just kind of pull them down and you fix the hands. But the hands are it's just really weird. There's a thumb notch right there, which I thought is kind of strange, but I think that's about it. We got him in his bot mode now. And let's get him armored up. Let's get his gear on him. And then let's check this guy out. Alright, here he is in bot mode, and I guess I'll have to find out in editing. I have no idea when, but this thing popped off. I was just like, hey, something's missing, and it's not even a big deal. It just pops right back in, but figured I'd show it. Just be mindful of that. Yeah, it's probably my fault on that. This thing here, I like how they did this. I like it better than how Takara did theirs. But it's also got, it's a cannon, but it could be a gun that you can hold in his hand, and he can either dual wield some guns or have this as the typical cannon, and it's going to go on to, you see it, this peg right here. But the way the tab is positioned so that it can be held in this hand also, if you wanted to, makes it seem like it'd fit better on this side, but we do know that it usually goes on his right shoulder. Anyway, here's his gun that he comes with, and no paint, but it looks okay. We get the thumb over that, nice good grip on there. All right, now he's in bot mode and everything's tabbed in. He is really solid and really, really, really clean. It's a nice looking figure overall, and so I like it. The paint really shines and glistens on this guy, especially when you kind of slowly. You can see the glistening of the paint, and yeah, good looking figure overall. Very, very clean. Look how slim he is also. I like that. But really a good looking figure, and something that we've definitely sorely needed in the masterpiece realm for a long time is a better Sideswipe. Now we will get into comparing it to Bad Cube and all this other stuff too, so don't worry, that's coming. A very clean figure, very clean bod from the bottom to the top. And I like some of the things that they did in here. I really do. I like some of the ideas they came up with, and some of the stuff didn't make sense at first, but of course once you get it transformed, it's like, oh yeah, all that makes sense. It's all really good, and it works. So let's get into looking at the rest of the accessories. Then we'll do some articulation, and then the fun part, comparisons. All right, so we saw the gun and the cannon, but now we have the hammer. We have two hammers. Put the hammer smack down if you want to put the hammer, or if you want to make it as like the pickaxe. And the whole point of this is to just do something with these pile drivers. Now, if you've had the Masterpiece version of this, you get these pile drivers with all of the Masterpiece versions, and with this one, pop this off. You could always do this as a thing. It's kind of a necessary inclusion if you feel it's necessary, or you can do this with this thing as a necessary inclusion. It's considered necessary, I guess. And there's that, and looks good, but I just prefer the hand. I guess I'll leave the hand with all this big giant hammer in his hand, and use that for comparisons. Yeah, why not? Almost forgot the articulation. Head goes side to side, up, down, shoulder right to the 90. It doesn't really hold. Oh, it's holding this thing. It will do the 360, and you do get a bit of. Feels like you get a bit of a butterfly there. It's got this kind of drop down, pop up kind of shoulder piece that you can do with it if you want to, which is going to kind of knock that off. So let's just take that off for now. Bicep swivel. It's kind of double jointed right there. It goes up pretty high. You do have 2 points of articulation on each finger. They are not independent though. It's just all 4 of these. No pointing, no being rude. And then we have waist swivel, ab crunch, and then we have hip flaps. So it's kind of old school with the hip flap situation. Could go out to here, forward to there, and back to, well, it stops because it's unit hip flap that. All right, there it goes. Well, the hip flap doesn't stop it. You do have thigh swivel, really, really tight, just on tension. Not double jointed, but goes past the 90 because it has a cutout notch in the rear. That works and gets the job done. And then what I already said about the foot, side to side, it goes down and up, so you can get a little bit with all of that. And I do like how they extended it further than this piece to cover up the rest of it to make the foot look like a good, solid foot. Getting started with this comparisons. Takara's Plus version of their Sideswipe. And then this is Red Alert from Bad Cube, which I believe that the alert from Bad Cube is better than what Bad Cube did with their Sideswipe, but it has a lot of similarities, like the sleekness, the slimness of the chest. There's a few good things on this, but looking at it, I think they complement each other very well. I think they look really good side by side and complement each other. And weight wise, I feel like DX9 is heavier than all these other ones. But I really felt like the Takara one needed a replacement. A month after I got it, don't know why I got all the other color variations, but I just thought that we'd never see another one, and this is the only time we'd get those options. And little did I know that we're going to have a lot of different options coming out. And with this might be good enough to get fans' toys to go, oh no, now we got to reveal one at TFCon Los Angeles or something. I do want to place this here and point out that this is the vintage one, and as you can see, the vintage one, it's got some inspirations with these parts hanging off, the door hanging off, as you see with this, which they're pretty much the Red Alert and the Sideswipe in the G1 are the same mold, just different colors for the most part. And then you can see just kind of where we've come from, where we are going. Got to have that G1 in there. And then let's compare this to a Prime. Now, it maintains the same scale that Carbots have been going with for a long time now, and I still feel like Carbots are too short. I think they should come up a little bit taller to like about here, but to change the scale of everything would throw it all off. If one company was brave enough, it would be Toy World. Toy World does their own stuff in their own scale, and they're brave for it, but is that part of why they're not as popular? I don't know. But anyway, I think this works. It fits in with everything. It's the right size and scale for what everything currently is, but it looks really good. Alright, so this is the DX9 Red Storm, and is their take on a very G1-esque masterpiece version of Sideswipe, and I have to say that it is very good looking. It is sorely needed. Is it perfect? Well, I wish it was a little bit heavier, more die-cast and that kind of stuff in there, but it's heavy enough. It gets the job done. It looks great on the shelf, and so that would be my downside. The transformation is a little bit on the fiddly side, but it's not really hard. It's just understanding it is not the hard part. It is just the executing of getting the pieces aligned and in place just right. That was the hardest part for me. But accessory-wise, it doesn't have too much, and it's actually gone a little bit different than I've seen with any of the other ones. This is what I've been looking for, and I think it's good enough. I think it's that good that we're going to hear Fans Toys announce theirs pretty soon, simply because of the fact that this is that good, and they like to be a bully and all that kind of stuff. But guess what? This is going to be on my shelf as my masterpiece version of Sideswipe for at least 2 or 3 years. And I got to say that I'm very impressed with it. And if we don't see another version of this for 5 or 10 years, I'll be perfectly happy with this one because it looks really good. Maybe I'll get an Autobot symbol right there. But anyway, I did get this at Shows Storm. I have a link down below where you can get yours too while they're still in stock. I think it's like $78 or something like that, which is a very good price point for this figure with all of the paint and all of the engineering that went into it. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Are you getting this, or are you going to stick with this thing? Cut your hanger out.
Since when do you know anything about this countryside?
Listen, I've got search instincts like a proton-powered Pathfinder. Well, sure. You see, if we can't go through those villagers, we can go under them. Tunneling under those villages is taking longer than I figured.
You and your shortcuts.
I still think this is the best way to go. You'll see. Whoa!
That's no way to travel, little fella.
Yeah. Next time I'll call a cab.